Hello YouTube, and welcome to the second episode of Xisuma's World. Right now we're in a little storage area that I created, and I forgot to show you it in the first episode. I've been busy putting all my resources down here and preparing for what I have planned for this episode. First of all, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to all the wonderful comments I got. It was really great to read them all and put me in a really good mood for doing this episode. And what we're going to do in this episode is create the tree farm that I'm going to need, because I'm going to need a ton of wood for this thing. I mean, it's going to dominate this area here big time, so I'm going to need tons of wood. I went and raised the dirt here up one, and as you can see it worked and all the trees are growing, and now I want to set up over this area here a proper tree farm. So I'm going to have to disassemble everything that we've got here and level out all the land and build a really big, probably over the top tree farm. But what I want to do next is show you the EXP farm. Okay, so we're here at the EXP farm and I've been working on it. I've fleshed out the whole room. I think it looks really nice. I'd like to know what you think, obviously. Please leave a comment, tell me if you like it. I've gone for pumpkins and water underneath these leaves, and I really like the effect that it creates, a nice sort of purple glow under the green. So as you can see, I haven't finished this spawner over here, and this is the one that I said when I had it finished that I would leave it so I could show you guys what you needed to do. And I need to thank Something Green, who suggested if I made the water too deep under where the spiders fall that they wouldn't take damage. So I've set this one up, and I've already done it on the other two, so they're working just fine. Let's explain here. The back row is water sources, and as you can see, 2 blocks from the spawnable area. We drop down 1 block all the way across, and we drop down again, and I filled that up with water. Then all you'd need to do is break these dirt blocks and the water would flow down and over, creating the 2 water blocks just below where the spiders would fall down, and they no longer take damage, meaning we've made the crusher up top more efficient. And the way to get to the crusher is just up these ladders, and as you can see I've done nothing too elaborate up here yet. I've just made a couple of tweaks here and there. I'm still working on making the crusher better, and this is where the third spawn of spiders will come up, and I'm going to have to link that into the system at some point. So to get this thing ready, all we need to do is remove the dirt blocks. And there you go, you can see the water flows over the other water source below it, and then we have that 2 water block drop for the spiders to land in and not take damage. And as you saw the way I activated the spawners before in the last episode, you just need to go around to the back of the rooms and remove the torches, and you would ping that one off there as well. So I have one more thing to mention about the EXP farm before we move on to the tree farm. Coolero Man pointed out that the spiders are climbing up the walls because they can track me through the walls, and that's because I'm using glass. And yeah, I guess we could have stuck with the original system had I known that and filled the walls in, but I really like being able to see the spawners through the glass. I think it looks really cool, and the way we have the glass above us as well is great, so I'm going to stick with the system, but thanks to you for pointing that out. So we also have this area over here, and the EXP farm is quite a bit of distance from my base, so when you travel out here I'm going to leave some supplies like food, tools, weapons, and lots of cobblestone, which I don't really need to carry back to my base. So there we go. Okay, so the tree farm that I'm going to build, it has a purpose, obviously trees, but the purpose of it is to grow them in rows like this. Now I've actually built one of these tree farms before, so I'm going to show you that. I do have a lot of improvements to make to it now, but what we're going to do is go on to the server that I play on, and we're going to head over to the tree farm, which is just here. I actually built this with the other people on the server. It was a lot of fun. And let's just head up here. There we go, there's the tree farm. One of the important things about it is this, the water sources and the water collect all the saplings, and I'll show you an example of why I like it set up like this. Now they're all the same height, so you can just hold forward and hold click and you can mine out a whole row and then do the bottom row after, and as the leaves turn into saplings they fall in the water collects them and it takes them all to a collection point, which I'll show you next. And the squids often like to gather in there, which is really annoying, but get some ink as well. And yeah, this is where the saplings would all gather. Okay, so I'm going to build something really quite similar to this, but I've got some improvements to make to it as well, and then that will give me you know, a decent tree farm for building my tree house. And what I'm going to do while I build this is do a time lapse of me dismantling my current base, levelling out the land and building it all back up. I'm going to put some music by a friend of mine to that, so I hope you'll enjoy that, and then after we'll go back, take a look at it, and I'll explain to you how it works and how you can build it in your own world. welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I didn't really have too much idea what I was doing, but it turned out pretty good I think, and I learnt quite a few things. So, as you can see, it's not really finished yet, and there's a lot more I want to do. I want to build a nice area around the front here as an entrance, but I put in these glass blocks here to let the trees grow for now. But I do need to go get more sand and fill in the rest of this, and I'll probably have glass windows around the sides here as well. And there is actually a big desert biome. It's over in the distance in that direction, so I'll be travelling there soon. It's one of the reasons I chose this location, because there is also a snow biome just over there. So we can see that it's working, which is good. What I'd like to do now is just talk about the design. The problems I had with the one I made on the GeoMine server was that the source blocks were not like these ones moving, they were just still, and saplings could actually get caught in them and you'd lose them unless you wanted to go swimming, which is not what we wanted. We want all the saplings to be caught in the water, which will happen now, and they'll be taken down into these streams which go to a collection point. Again, I'd like to, work on the collection point and make it look nice, but for now I can't hop down here. There we go. I can hop down here and pick up any saplings or anything that fall in. So, a few things about the design. If you're going to build one of these yourself, don't use any wood blocks, these ones, because some of the leaves won't decay because they'll be next to wood blocks and you'll lose out on saplings. And that's something else which is a problem with this design, is that it doesn't return enough saplings because you have so many trees next to each other. So I'll probably build a small tree farm somewhere over in the distance that I will use to collect more saplings, whereas this one will be mainly for the gathering the bulk of wood. So if you're thinking of building your own tree farm, there's a few things you need to know. First of all, the distance between your rows of dirt and the blocks above will be 6 blocks, and that's so the tree will grow with 4 blocks of wood and 2 leaves above it. The second thing would be the gap between each row. I've gone for 5, so I can have the stream in the middle with the glass pane and everything be symmetrical, but ideally you only need 4 blocks between. You could even grow them with less, but you would get less saplings from leaves. So what I'm going to do now is work on the lighting, because I have no lighting in here and mobs could spawn at night. And as I said in the first video, I wanted to use pumpkins, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I will start work and get back to you. Okay, so I finished adding in the jack-o'-lanterns, so let's go take a look. Put a row down either side here, and I've put some under the water stream. You can see one there, and there's one just under there, and I think it lights up the farm really nicely at night. And I've also put some up top. You can just see one there. Let's take a better look. Okay, so we have these jack-o'-lanterns in the middle here, and it lights up the leaves at the top, and I think it looks pretty good. But now what I really want to do is finish the rest of the structure, because right now it looks a bit bare and it lacks any detail. So I finished one segment of this wall, and we've got some stone bricks, some half slabs, glass, fence posts with torches on to create a nice lighting effect. And what I'm going to do is repeat that all the way down this wall, and this wall will be the back, and then I'm going to have to work on the sides. And I can't make this side just a straight wall like this one, because I need to create a entrance area for myself to come up here and start cutting down the trees. I've also added some trapdoors to give the roof some detail. I think it looks okay. So yeah, I'll get back to you when I finish this wall. Okay, so the wall has been finished all the way across, and I'm actually really pleased with the way it turned out. I think it looks really good. I've changed my mind about the collection point. The collection point used to be round the side over there, and I've actually moved it down here now. And that's because this side is where I'll be accessing the rows of trees. So I'm going to build perhaps sort of an arch over here and have some chests and make this the entrance to the tree farm. And I'll probably copy this wall and put it on the wall down that end. Okay, so I've built the first part of the front. It's just one segment for now. I've put a lot of glass in, some glass panes, a glass roof, and I really like it. It gives it a very nice open feel. One of the things I've been thinking about is where should I put the entrance. Now, I mentioned in the first video one of my challenges was transport, and the transport will mainly come from the treehouse being the centre of my base, so I was thinking perhaps an underground entrance somewhere around here. But for now I'm just going to build the rest of this and leave a small doorway somewhere to get in, but in the future I'll come back here and rebuild the entrance. So I've finished making the front of the tree farm now, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks really good. I've got the pathway down here to the collection point, and yeah, this is where all the saplings will collect. They'd actually take quite some time to get here. So what I've been thinking about doing is enchanting a pick and going over to the ice biome and getting some ice, and if I put that under the water stream, the saplings and other drops like the bits of wood that fall into the water would arrive a lot quicker down there, which would be useful. And I've left this side open here because I need a way in and out for now, but as I said before, the entrance will probably be an underground one. And I've also been thinking about the side here, making it out of glass so you can have a look at the underwater ocean, or whatever you want to call that over there. So now all I've got left to do is to finish this side and the back side, the opposite side from this one, which will also probably be very similar to this wall here. Okay, so I finished the back and the side walls, and there's pretty much nothing left to do now. It's practically complete, but there's one more thing I want to do before the episode ends, which is I'm going to leave the game on for a while and let all the saplings grow into trees, and then I'll chop down all of the wood in one go and let all the leaves turn to saplings, and we'll get a good count and see how many saplings and wood this farm produces. Okay, so I've been waiting a long time for these trees to grow, and it's going to take way too long really, and I want to finish up the episode, so I realised I can figure out how much wood I'd get by simply doing some maths. Each row has 35 blocks of dirt which the trees grow on, so that's 35 trees, and there's 4 rows. That makes 170 spaces for trees to grow, and each tree always gets 4 blocks of wood, so that's 560 blocks of wood. And that in terms of stacks would be 8 3/4 stacks. I actually wanted this tree farm to be a little bigger than that, so in terms of what it yields, so I may expand it at some point, but for now it's pretty decent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through, chop down every tree, get rid of every sapling, I'll let all the leaves decay, and we'll see how many saplings we get back from this. Okay, so as you can see, I've cut down on the trees, all the leaves are decayed, so now it's time to go to the collection point and see how many saplings we got. Bear in mind I've already collected some while cutting down the trees, 48. And as you saw, there was some bits of wood there as well. So there you go, 64, 26, that's 100 saplings. No, sorry, it's 90 saplings. And so yeah, this doesn't yield a lot considering I said there was 170 places where we can plant saplings, and that's why I'll need a separate tree farm. Okay, so that's about it for this episode. We got the tree farm finished, which which will be an important part of building the giant treehouse over the lake here. And hopefully you learnt some information on building your own tree farms. And as I said, that's about it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.